And you're welcome to a Rabbi from Another Planet's channel, and this is the big comic book pitch show that we do have. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring on some guests, and they've all got one thing in common. They all have a love of comic books. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on our first guest because, as I was told, to keep this as short, as sweet as possible. So we will bring on obviously the guy who runs this channel. I'm obviously hosting right now, but it's a Rabbi from Another Planet.
I am here. I'm here. Yes, I'm here indeed. I come from another planet, and I come here for one reason alone, for boobies, because my planet doesn't have boobies, and your planet has an insane wealth of boobies. By the way, speaking of which, I did the trailer for our watch long. I've
seen it. Yeah, I've got them. I'll throw them up actually tonight because I've been leaving them a bit long, but I will throw those trailers up. He has got the trailers ready for me. Aren't you want to give a shout out to before I bring the rest of the guests on, because I know we want to kind of.
I tell you, always go to my website, biblicalcomics.com. Comics with an X. There's tons of free comics on there. And I drop a serialized comic every Friday on Twitter. You get links to all the other parts, so it's called Free Comics Friday. The two things that I can plug, and I've as soon as I can get myself together to get a sign up list going on Indiegogo, I've got to start my. I got like 3 projects I can do right now, so I've got to start on that. That's basically where biblicalcomics.com.
Fantastic. Right, let's bring on our very first guest that's going to be joining us today. So we'll start with Lucifer Storm, because I know Lucifer Storm is waiting in the background. Nice to have you back, pal. How are you? And how have you been?
It's nice to be back. I'm glad to be here. I'm so not ready for this, but I'm going to do my best. It was fun last time, so it's going to be fun again this time.
It will. And you know what? We've kind of got the hang of it now, so it should run a little bit smoother. But like the last time when you were on, we gave you the opportunity to tell people a little bit about yourself and what kind of work you do. And remember, guys, all of the stuff is going to be in the link description on this stream. Rabbi has already put it there, so go and check out all the work. So go ahead, Lucifer Storm, let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Lucifer Storm. I come from the south of England. I'm an award-winning independent graphic novelist, and I'm currently working on my latest book titled Lady Satan, An Angel in a Killer's Dress. You can see the cover for the first issue up on screen now. I'm going to have a little announcement concerning this book on October 31st. So if you can, head on over to www.lady-satan.com and sign up to the newsletter. I guarantee you it will be worth it.
Absolutely fantastic. And again, as I said the last time, love the covers to your stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Right, let's keep it going. Obviously, I've forgotten the rest of the names, but I think there was someone called Geronimo. So let's bring Geronimo on next.
How are you? Happy to be here.
Welcome. Nice to have you here. First time talking to you, of course.
Yes.
Again, I'll say the same thing to yourself. Just let everybody know what you do. Tell them a little bit about yourself and what your work is all about, and we will go from there.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I am a comic book artist and a comic book creator that's published by Alterna Comics. I have a comic series out with the publisher called Blood Realm, and I just recently launched about 2 days ago, a day and a half ago, my Indiegogo campaign for Wirehead. It's a slasher horror book. I believe during these crazy times with this pandemic and everything, people have pent up energy, and I think we need some cathartic slasher horror right now.
Yeah.
I think it's much needed. So yeah, we just need to see some teenagers killed in the woods, you know. So the main stalker is a robotic killer. He's like a cybernetic terror that haunts and terrorizes these kids in the Pocono Mountains. So yeah, and it's gonna be black and white, 80 pages, like in an homage to like EC Comics in a way. I always love that stuff.
Yeah.
The crypt.
It looks absolutely fine. I like, as I said to Rabbi, I like all of this black and white work. You know, I don't want to get me wrong. I like colored comics, but I have to be honest, these black and white ones, they're just I don't know. They seem to jump out at out of the page a lot better, in my opinion. I love that kind of work. Yeah, listen, it sounds like a good concept for a comic book. Who doesn't want to see a bunch of teenagers being killed by a cyborg?
Well, I hope they can have sex before they kill each other. You know, that's what I like about slasher movies. You know,
that's what, exactly. There's always some poor girl in a bikini being chased around the house, isn't there? Yeah,
exactly. By a guy in a gorilla costume with a space helmet. That's what I wanted.
That's all you need.
Lucifer Storms and Geronimo Draws' work, including Rabbi's, will be all in the link description. Right, let's move it on and bring on our next guest, Rabbi. You could just bring them on and I'll introduce them there. So who's he brought on? It's William. Hello, William. Nice to have you back again. Oh, and he's drinking a beer. Why not, mate?
Greetings from Planet Dundee.
Lovely. Nice. What are you drinking? What's the beer you're drinking?
It's a plug.
Nice. Looks nice. Right, well, again, you've been on before, but just for anybody that doesn't know your work, tell them a little bit about yourself, where they can find all your stuff and all of that. The same thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
I ramble on, don't mind me. Bad week.
As you'll ramble away. I've got Ailsa Dark, Werewolves and Vampires launching on Halloween. It's the second Ailsa Dark campaign, and it's the campaign where you can get all 3 issues, the complete story of the werewolves and the vampires. And it's a kind of an old school 70s, 80s, Bronze Age kind of vibe to it. And if you like horror comics, if you like adventure comics, if you like anything that's kind of like old school and geeky, you probably love Ailsa Dark. And this is a cover I just finished off last week for the 3rd issue. And she's pure Gallus, by the way, which is a Scottish way of saying you're cooler than cool. And that's it. It's launching in Halloween. I've just got these through the other day. I got these like nice little Tatty Bogo Man badges. If you can big me up there, I can show you one of these.
There, Rabbi, so we can see his.
I showed you guys the last time I was on. I showed you the poster and the prints I was doing, the Tatty Bogo Man. So he's like Scotland's answer to Freddy Krueger. And you want to go into the mailing list for Ailsa Dark and sign up for it, because these are going to be very special for people that come to the Indiegogo campaign via the mailing list. There's a good chance you're going to get yourself one of these if you do that.
Fantastic. And look, great cover as well. And we do like a strong female character, that kicks ass.
We do indeed.
Yeah. They don't do it nowadays. You can't have proper female characters. Right? Is that's everybody, Rabbi?
No, can I make one request for the first round? We say you give people the choice of any genre and an age range. We've done horror for the last 2 weeks. Can we have anything but horror this week?
All right, I will say that now. Lee is in the chat, so Lee is talking to the people. So before we start the first round, Lee and everybody in the chat. Round 1, before we actually start round 1, so he says, as he said, select a genre and an age range. Now, we have done horror for the past couple of weeks, and he's right, so I'm not going to choose horror, but so remember, that's the first round. So select a genre and an age range, and Rabbi will roll the titles for round 1. And there.
Can I read? So what exactly do we have to do?
I'm sorry?
What do we have to do?
This is what we
wait. Yeah, I'll explain.
I'm the host.
The chat is going to suggest there's 3 rounds. We have 3 rounds. The chat is going to suggest a genre and an age range in round 1. You have to come up with, on the fly, a comic book, a series, a graphic novel, something that meets that brief. Round 2, we're going to be given an existing character, and you've got to do something with that character. Like I normally try and choose like a 12-month arc, or you can do a graphic novel, whatever. But you've got to pitch something on the fly. And the 3rd round is you're given an existing universe, and you've got to come up with an original piece within that universe.
Oh wow! Okay.
Okay. So yeah.
No pressure.
Basically, the idea is this. you're stuck in an elevator. This is back in about 2010 with the editor-in-chief of Marvel or DC. It says, "Okay, pitch me your idea. I'm looking for a sci-fi thing for teenagers. So just pitch me an idea." That's the idea we got. That's what we're.
Okay.
So there you go.
So let's see. So someone has said, Time Prophet says science fiction, but we also need an age range. So if you could also give, if you're going to give a genre, please also give an age range also. So guys in the chat, we're waiting on you guys. This only works if you guys actually take part. Remember, you have to give an age range. Don't just say fantasy. Right, there you go. Vanessa Law, because it's something different. Fantasy, and the age range is 16.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's what it is. So who would like to go first? I'll leave it open to one of you guys to actually start it off. Who would like to start off? Who's confident enough to pitch the first one?
Give me a minute. I'll think of something. It's,
This is going to be... It's going to be fun.
Okay, the first one's always the hardest. Okay, the first one's
once you get going, then it'll be...
Right.
So you go first, Rabbi, because you're...
I guess I am. Fine. So,
I got something.
Okay, go ahead. Fuck you.
I don't know.
Take it, baby. Take it. I'm still working.
Okay, so it's got to be fantasy and 16-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's set in a fantasy world where this young girl who is adopted finds out that her parents were part of this big grand master wizardry council, and there's no more left. They're all so she doesn't realize that she's the daughter of these great grand wizards who have this remarkable power. So now what happens?
You have to come up with a bit of a story to flesh that out.
So it's not just so we give like the little tagline, and now we have to like develop how much further.
Yeah.
So you have to go beyond like.
Right. I tell you what. Does anybody else want to go? Because I've got the beginnings of my idea. I can probably work it out from here.
You go for it, Rabbi.
Geronimo, right? He has a good idea there, but let him flesh out a little bit. So I'll tell you what, Rabbi, you go first because you
I'll have a go.
So
okay, so
2 minutes, Geronimo.
Fine. So this is an ongoing series. This will be an ongoing series. The initial arc is this. It starts off a group of teenagers. A group of 16-year-old teenagers are going to a traveling fair. During a long hot summer's day. And they get some they get some booze, they get some weed, they're a little bit naughty, these kids. They're not terrible, a little bit naughty. And they go into a ride, and the ride is a portal into another reality. In this other reality, they find themselves imbued with incredible powers and abilities, each one of them different in some one way or another. Their goal is they need to get back to the traveling fair. They need to get back to the traveling fair because that is their window back to their own reality. And they know, and the traveling fair has already started to go off. So they go and they go start to chase it, but they are waylaid. They are waylaid by I guess the generic demons, the flying monkeys of this world, whatever they would be, whatever the henchmen is, whatever these generic demons are, who are in control by a terrifying, beautiful, and somewhat sexy, I would say, evil witch. Because bums on seats, baby, bums on seats. People like a bit of sex appeal. So they get caught in. So they get caught in a labyrinth-like situation where they got to battle different obstacles to get out, and they finally do, and they have clues of what's going on and where they need to go. They hear word of the fair, and it's now weeks away, so they're chasing after that, and they picked up clues throughout their adventures within the labyrinth, which leads you to the queen, which leads you to the evil witch. The evil witch has another agenda going on, and the evil witch in the end is revealed to be the stepmother of one of the children in the real world. So there you go. That's the first 4 issues, I would say, of this story.
Actually, very good pitch. Kevin Riggs doesn't like your pitch because he put a lot of Z's. So you made him fall asleep with that one. But
I gave you a sexy witch. What do you want out of me?
Right. Who else would like to take up this little challenge? Geronimo, are you ready now, or do you want us to come back to you?
I'm fleshing it now that I understand. Now that he just went, I kind of have a better sense of what we have to do. So I'll flesh it out a little bit more if that's okay.
No problem.
Cool. I'll go.
Lucifer Storm, go ahead, because you actually did well the last time you pitched. So I'm looking forward to your pitches. So go for it.
Well, bear with me on this one, because if there's one genre I am absolutely shit at, it happens to be fantasy. But I'm going to give it a go. So, right, we've got this young girl, say 16. Same age as the target reader. I reckon this could be like a 4-issue mini-series, maybe 6 issues at best. She's going through a rough time. Someone very close to her has passed away, but there's been something strange about the way that she passed away, and the last communication that she had with this person saying, you know, I've seen things not of this world and stuff like that. She's mourning the passing of that person, so she's at the graveyard paying her respects and everything, doing her, you know, I miss you, how did this happen? And by the cemetery there's a forest, and she sees something in the forest. She's like, what's that? And she sees this angelic type creature come out of the forest wearing like a blindfold, asking for help and stuff. And she's like, I don't know what to do. What's going on? Who are you? Where did you come from and stuff? And then this witch-like creature comes out of the forest and snatches this angel, pulls it back into the forest. So she runs into the forest, but she can't find anything. So she goes back to the graveyard, and when she does, there's a strange man stood by the grave of the person that she lost and stuff. And this man's like, so you saw the creatures, did you? You saw the people in there, kind of thing. And she's like, yeah, how do you know about them? And he takes her to his little hut because he happens to be one of the grave diggers at this cemetery or whatever. He sits down with her and explains that there's this other world going on, and it's a world of darkness and these strange creatures, and they will come out of the forest one day to take over our world and stuff, but not if she can help. But she doesn't know how to get there, and he explains there is one way to get there. I can't get there because it needs 2 people to do this. I'm going to bury you. That's the only way you can get there. You've got to be buried in order to transport to this mystical, magical place. And she has to get there and save the angelic creature that she saw. You know, we could have like a twist going on, like the person that she lost or thought she lost is actually alive there and being held prisoner. And that's as far as I could take the pitch. Yeah, that's
interesting.
He's like, that's all I got.
Sorry, I was actually talking, and I didn't realise I muted myself. So I was literally talking there for 2 seconds.
Oh, can you do that all over again, Lucifer, please?
Oh yeah, sure. That's no problem.
I heard the pitch. I just had myself on mute. I didn't have you on mute. I had myself on mute. But great. Is Lucifer Storm's pitch fantasy for 16-year-olds? You decide. Yeah, exactly. So you think Rabbi's pitch was also for 16-year-old? See, Rabbi likes to sex it up a little bit. I think he forgets that it's for teenagers sometimes.
You listen. You look at the comic books that we grew up with. They did have a lot of
but that was back then.
spandex, and I did enjoy that.
this is 2020, for God's sake. The idea of comic books now is safe space and snowflake, for God's sake.
No, not here. Not on this channel.
Those are my favorite characters.
Right. I think we will go with Geronimo next because he has had a bit of a chance to come up with a pitch.
Okay.
Are you ready, Storm?
Yes. Okay. So, am I allowed to have my notes ready? I was writing stuff.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, whatever which way you want to do it, go for it, pal.
Okay. So we're in this fantasy world. Okay. We follow a young girl who is adopted by these farmers, and it's an isolated farm town. And the age of the girl is like Lucifer's. You know, she's very close to the reader's age, about 16. And then one day, the farm village is raided by these Inquisition-looking soldiers, clad in armor. You know, the symbol of their faith, and they burn the village down, and they slaughter the family. And this satyr who lives in the forest outside of the farm rescues the girl, and he's been kind of watching over her. And he informs her that she is the last descendant of this ancient order of witches. But witches not in the way we think. We think very evil, but really this is very different. And the twist is that the leader of this Inquisition is her brother, who's much older than her.
Wow.
So she has to kind of come to terms with her past, learn more about this ancient coven of witches, and face her brother, who is a leader of this Inquisition, and find the truth of all of this. It's an ongoing series.
That's a great pitch, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's a good pitch. I like witches anyway, so witches with a bit of a twist, I'm in, especially coming up to Halloween. That's
right.
Actually, I will, after I ask William, I want to ask you all a question after I get William's pitch, because I just something popped into my head while we're doing this, and I actually think it's a good question to ask. But we'll go with William next, who obviously has to do his pitch, and then that's the end of round one, and we'll get you our score. So get ready. Remember, after William's pitch, then we want you to score all 1, 2, 3. How many is on the panel? Which 1, 2, 3, 4 pitches, right? So there's 4 pitches because I don't pitch, obviously, because I'm the host. So remember to score all 4 pitches after William gives his pitch. So we'll go with William now.
Right. Okay. Well, magic is real, and wizards are real, but nobody really takes them that seriously or even believes in them, because for years, decades, their whole kind of the idea behind wizards and what they do has been eroded by popular culture. In order to stay vital and to keep their powers, once a year, the wizards have to kill somebody. There has to be a blood sacrifice. So most years they kind of vote on it. Usually Rick Wakeman is high on the list of somebody to be killed because, you know, prog rock didn't do a lot to help them. So this year it's down to Rick Wakeman and wee Jimmy McCludgeon, who's a Scottish owner of a magic shop. And wee Jimmy just unfortunately wins out, and he's going to be the blood sacrifice. And the way it works is when you use magic on somebody, you can either cause them damage or you can empower them. And they figure out that they'll just be able to kill wee Jimmy McCludgeon and it'll be fine. His magic shop, which they figure is a blot on the respect that they are due as wizards. They'll get rid of the magic shop and they'll get rid of this horrible individual who sells Harry Potter books and stuff like that. You know, it's shocking. Unfortunately, in the bedsit above is wee Billy Buzz Buchanan, a 16-year-old waster, and they'll do well. And like most 16-year-olds with the internet, 16-year-old fantasy, put them together, make your own conclusions, guys. He's sitting there kind of like just chilling. What happens? They send a spell. The spell goes flying halfway around the world, all the way to Edinburgh, right to the magic shop, goes through the roof of the building, right down, passes through the body of this 16-year-old wee Billy, goes down below and kills Jimmy McCludgeon and sets fire to the shop. So the wizards are all like, yeah, we've got rid of him. That's great. That's another year. We keep our power. And we've killed off one of these wasters who's destroying the essentially the essence of who we are. Unfortunately, it empowers the 16-year-old in the bedsit, and it awakens in him magic that he didn't know he had. So Billy Buzz Buchanan goes out there into the world. The problem was the guy that killed wee Jimmy, that was his uncle. So he's out there now, and he knows wizards exist. And not only that, they inadvertently have given him powers that are just as powerful as they are. So he decides to do what any 16-year-old does when their uncle's just been killed. He's going to go out there and he's going to kick the shit out of every wizard he meets. Issue 1, wee Jimmy has been dead, and it's now Billy Buzz Buchanan, wizard killer. Thank you.
Bravo.
There we go. Right,
Fantastic.
You never cease to amaze me, Wullie.
I know. He comes up with some. He's all come up with some great pitches. But here we go now. This is the chance for you guys now in the chat. Which pitch did you like best? So remember, you're voting for all 4 pitches, and you give your highest score. None of this 0.5 nonsense. It's 1 to 10. Okay? None of this 0.5 nonsense that we had a few weeks back, because that really threw me off. So 1 to 10. So 1 is for a poor pitch, obviously. 10 is obviously the highest that you can give. So if you could give you our scores, and I'll tell you, right, so Vanessa Law has given Rabbi 8 points.
Whoa.
Lucifer Storm gets 5. Geronimo gets 7. And we've got William at 6. Okay, fantastic. So Vanessa was the first one. So we're waiting on 2 other people.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Now to give you their scores. So far, if we were to look at the first set of scores, Rabbi is actually in the lead right now. So 2 more scorers, please, guys. Lee, I suppose you're in the chat as well. If you want to actually give a score, mate, because you obviously, you do the chat as well. You can be one of those people this time if we don't get anybody. So if you want to throw up a score there, go for it. But guys, come on, he gave you 2-3 minute warning before the pitch was over. I sent him a message to let you know to get ready with the scores. So we've got Vanessa. We need another 2 people now, or this doesn't work.
Oh, another score just came in. Another score just came in.
Unfortunately, that you can't give yourself a score.
Well, I think we should leave it at that, quite frankly. I think
everybody disagrees. Are you all afraid to give a score because you think you might insult someone? Nobody gives a crap about that. It's a bit of fun.
I care. Don't listen to him. I care.
All right, so give you the scores. Come on. So me work has kept me away from. All right. We'll go with problem being, because obviously nobody else will. So William gets an 8 off problem being. Well done. Rabbi gets a 7. Well, you won't be on his quiz team ever again for that one. Lucifer gets a 6. And Geronimo gets a 5. So we need one more person to give scores, or I'm just going to give a score without telling anybody.
I know someone who can give some scores. He might be a bit biased though.
Oh, who's that?
And that's this guy. Good evening, everybody. I'll give some scores. My name is Jeremy Dahmer, no relation, and I'm here to take over the world. But until then, I can give you some scores if you like. That Lucifer guy sucked. He gets nothing.
This guy's great. He's great. I like him. I like this guy.
And the rabbit, he should get at least 1. He should get 1. I like the other guys. They should get 1 each. And no, you should get 15. You should get. Your pitch was the best. Okay, I gotta go now. Bye. Sorry about that. He always interrupts at the most inconvenient moments.
No. Shall we just move on with 2 scores? And
but they're not scoring in this one. They're hardly going to score in the next one. So I have to come on, boys.
We'll just take what we can get. It doesn't really matter.
You tell me you are all that shy. How many is in the chat? Come on. They've all gone quiet all of a sudden. They couldn't.
You're scaring them.
The quiz. And now that we're getting them to get involved, like, I mean, how many is watching? There's 18 of you watching. You mean to tell me Alpha Omega? There we go, Retro Dicky. Right, we have to go with Retro Dicky because he jumped up before Alpha Omega. So he gives William a 9. Well done. He gives Rabbi an 8. He gives Lucifer a 7. And he gives Geronimo a 6. Right, so we've got the scores for round 1. Now, round 2, while I'm still tallying up the scores, but round 2 is as I think Lee will be letting you know in the chat, but I will just let you know again. So, guys, please listen, this only works if you get involved. So, you know, get involved is what I'm trying to say.
They need to suggest a character, right? This one's a character.
No, I'm the host. So round 2, and Rabbi needs to understand that he gets me to host, that he has to let me give the instructions. So round 2 is we've got to get you guys to suggest the character, and we're in their timeline. For example, Superman is married to Lois Lane, or Spider-Man is a kid, and all of that. So again, we get the chat to suggest the character and where they are in their timeline. So there you go. Lee has actually put it in the chat. So while he's getting you all to choose, I will continue reading doing the scores. Sorry, that's 18, right? And then I'll call them out. This is good. Oh, right. You aren't going to believe this, right? So in joint second place, because scores are kind of tied on both sides. So in second place is Geronimo and Lucifer Storm with 18. But in the lead, we have Rabbi and William with 23 points.
Yes! Things are almost as they should be in the world.
So now it's becoming me and Geronimo versus you two guys. I like this.
Yes.
It's good. It's good. And not only that, but I wanted to ask you a question. Obviously, while we're doing a few pitches here, like what we've been doing for the last few weeks, is there any pitches that you have actually made on the channel, right? In the last few weeks, you guys that have been on have said, "Oh, that would actually be a good idea for a comic," and would consider actually doing what
everything I ever say, I think is golden, and I think should be immortalized in sequential art. Everything I ever say. Well, I did like the idea of the Mirror Universe Star Trek comic from last week. I wanted to see that comic. I would so read that comic.
Right, we've got one suggestion so far, and it's Batman is 75. According to Vanessa Lush, she wants an old Batman. Come on, guys. Anybody in the chat want to suggest, or I'm going to have to suggest, won't I? Let me see.
Old Batman?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. Who would I pick if I was to pick someone? Ooh. Batman after the death of Jason Todd, says Charlotte Shields. Ooh. Okay. Because I like that pitch. We'll go with Charlotte's one. So there's Charlotte's one there. I'll put it up. Rabbi, if you want to put it up on the screen there. So Batman after the death of Jason Todd. So that is our pitch. So, you're all gone very quiet.
Because we're thinking.
This will be a tough one, guys. So I'll give you a few minutes. And I'll give a few shout outs while we're here. So we've got Vanessa Law, Alpha Omega, problem being, Tracy Thomas, Charlotte Shields. And I can't scroll up to the chat. So whenever a name pops up, as I said, Liam Nielsen's chin. Wow. I didn't know his chin was that big, but there you go.
He will find you, and he will kill you.
And he will. So, yeah, we'll go with Charlotte's one. I think that'll be I think that's a good one. That's...
One question. Like,
Yeah.
this Batman one, what age range can we do mature readers, or can we do for kids, or is it?
I think you're pitching it to the editor of the Batman range.
Okay, cool.
So you can pitch whatever. It doesn't matter about the age range. I should have actually just made that clear. Actually, so it doesn't matter about the age range. Whatever you want to pitch, it does have to involve obviously Batman in the after obviously Mr. Todd was savagely beaten to death. Well, in the movie I seen he was savagely beaten to death by the Joker. Forget what was that, the Killing Joke?
Was he blown up in the comic? I can't remember.
He was bet up in one of them anyway. I remember because Batman goes crazy in it.
He was beaten with a
through a wall or a window, and there's Joker beating the crap out of Jason Todd. It was the animation. I remember watching it last year. I actually went on the big animation buzz with the DC movies, and yeah, a lot of them are actually good. Better than the movies they're producing now, to be honest with you. Right, so we're going with that one. So it's Batman, and obviously that time period. So who wants to go first this time? Well, Rabbi, you went first the last time. So who went last? It was William. William, would you like to go first this time, or do you want a couple of more minutes?
I don't think I'm going to get much more in a couple of more minutes. I'll just go for it.
Right, go for it then.
Right. Well, the problem with Jason Todd was Batman thought he could help a kid from the kind of like a background where he was like deprived, and he came from a kind of like petty crimes, all that kind of stuff. So he thought, some kid from the other side of the tracks, I can bring him in, I can help him out. The only problem was that there was never really an impetus on Jason Todd's part to be like Batman and to fight crime. It was kind of inflicted upon him by Bruce Wayne. So Bruce Wayne saw a hole that was there when Dick Grayson moved on and not having a Robin, and thought he could fill it with this young kid, and he could help this young kid. And it was just that kind of like hubris, that kind of like a quality that he had as a man, that he thought he knew best, and he didn't, because Jason Todd was not the kind of personality that should have been out there, that should have been fighting against maniacs like the Joker. So it was inevitable that something was going to happen. And what did happen was the worst thing possible, when he got bludgeoned to death by the Joker. So, of course, I mean, the official DC line as to what happened, I'm not quite remember what happened, but the way that I'm going to take it is I'm going to take it in a completely different way. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have Batman retire himself from being Batman. It's like, he can't do this anymore. He can't do this anymore until he's got himself just quite the right place in order to fix what he's done. And let's be honest, you can't fix killing a child. That's what he did. He put a child in front of a loaded gun and let that gun go off. So he takes himself out of the equation, and he sits down on his big chair with all his monitors, and he starts to pull together an entire network of characters that can work for him, detectives from around the world, people from around the world that can do his job, can do it better than him, because they're not hindered by the fact that they're being chased by the police all the time. And he sets them off like some Exocet missile onto the Joker in his crime world. And they just have one thing they have to do, and that is take out the Joker, take out his crime world. And there's one particular person that is this guy called the Vigilante. And he knows that the Vigilante does things wrong because he kills people, he uses guns. That's never been Batman's way. But Batman doesn't exist anymore. He's just Bruce Wayne sitting behind some monitors, organising a whole army of characters that are out there doing better what he couldn't do. And he gets the Vigilante and he points him at the Joker. And the Vigilante kills the Joker, does what Batman could never do. And the Vigilante doesn't have to pay for it because there's nobody to make him pay for it. And so Batman creates this entire system of characters that fight crime, and he's not needed anymore, and he can take a back seat. The only problem with that is his psyche won't let him do that. And so he decides he's going to just go out there one more time. He's going to go out there and he's going to fight against crime. He's going to win one last glorious night as the Batman. So he dons a suit and he goes out there. He says to himself, this is for Jason. I'm going out there for Jason. He starts taking down the thugs. He starts fighting with them. He starts taking them out. He's a bit older. He's a bit more tired, but he's doing okay. He hasn't asked for any help. No Dick Grayson or anybody there helping him. So the sun's about to come up. Just about to come up. It's his last night as Batman. And then he hears a sound. And he looks down. He sees the blood. He turns round. He sees Harley Quinn looking at him. And then the lights go out for Batman. That's it.
Wow.
Very nice.
You had me hooked all the way.
I have to be honest, that's the pitch to beat. Well, it's the fourth pitch of this round. So who would like to go next? I seen Geronimo Draws had his hand up and Lucifer Storm. So one of you guys.
No, I was relinquishing. That's
what you were doing. Okay, well then Lucifer Storm put up his hand. So go ahead, my friend.
Okay, so Batman has spent all his time fighting crime with that ideal of nope, not going to kill, especially not going to kill the Joker, because the Joker kind of wants that, not going to kill. And this has resulted in Jason Todd dying. This is bound to send Bruce Wayne on a bit of a dark spiral. He's bound to go back to Alfred and be like, well, yeah, the Joker may have been the one that bludgeoned him, but I might as well have handed him the crowbar because I put that kid in danger. It's my fault if I'd never taken him on as Robin. The blood is on my hands as well. And he's finding that really hard to cope with. Alfred's trying to help him out, saying, sir, you just need to get back to things. You'll realize it wasn't your fault. Just carry on as you are. You will find your way eventually. So he tries. He meets another kid who he tries to train as his Robin, but he's still got that thing in the back of his head of like, yeah, but all those criminals, how many more kids have died because I didn't kill them? And he starts getting a little bit of a curiosity. He's like, well, hold on, maybe I could try it with one. Maybe the Joker deserves to die. So he finds the Joker to get that revenge and he kills him. And he kind of liked it. And he realizes, hold on, if I'd done this before, Jason would still be around. He would still be safe. Maybe I need to start taking out the odd criminal here and there. So he does. And then, as more and more criminals go down, they're like, and they're hearing the word on the street, Batman's killing now. Shit, I like my life. He starts realizing that crime's going down, but that means he's lost his purpose. So he starts looking at different people and going, well, hold on, what little crime have you done? And is it punishable by death? He starts going, like I said, down that dark spiral, and he starts justifying. He starts doing the mental gymnastics in his own mind of sort of like, hey, you just stole a candy bar. But in some countries, that would be considered a crime punishable on death. And he's doing this behind the back of this new kid that he's been training. He's been training him for a couple of years now. He's doing it behind Alfred's back. And then he starts, a little bit of his original self starts coming back and going, what you're doing's wrong. So he starts having a bit of a breakdown back at Wayne Mansion. Alfred's there to see it. And Alfred's like, sir, everyone does something wrong. I'm not saying what you've done is right, but it's kind of understandable that you go down that path. I remember once when I was young, and Alfred tells him a little story about how he did something really bad. He nearly killed someone. And Bruce is like, so you went out there to intentionally murder someone. It's your fault. He's getting pretty deranged at this point. So he kills Alfred, but he doesn't realize that this little kid that he's been teaching and saying to, you shouldn't kill anyone, has now just seen him kill Alfred. So now Batman's become the bad guy. And this little kid, he's the one who has to take Batman down. And he has to do it as fairly as possible and prove to Batman, I don't need to kill you to stop you from doing this again. That's it.
Very good.
Thank you.
Nice.
That was a fantastic pitch. A killer Batman. Wow. Murderous Oh, yeah. That's why I like the Ben Affleck Batman. Goes around, kills people straight out. Love it. Love it.
That'll be a good book. That'll be a really good book.
It actually would be. That's a fantastic pitch. I have to be honest.
Thank you.
Right. Who would like to go next? Because I tell you, 2 pitches in and they're being amazing. So who wants to take on the next one?
I can go if you want to go.
Right.
Either way.
I feel like, unfortunately, mine's a little bit similar to like the other two, but Should I say it anyway?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could have some different elements in it. Obviously, like, he's write comics, so you know these characters. So it wouldn't be a far stretch to think that you would come up with the same kind of things, to be quite honest with you. But go ahead, yeah, do your pitch, mate.
Okay, so basically something very similar is that after the death of Jason Todd, Batman goes down this really dark path of feeling that maybe the way he's been going about things is not the way to do it. It's that whole debate, should Batman kill? Should he not kill? So here he tries, taking out the criminal. And what's scary is that he begins to like it. He starts to like this, and he likes taking these guys out, and that they're off the record, they're not in jail, and crime is going down. But just like what Lucifer was saying, but then he goes a little too far, to people who are kind of like extended in the crime family that maybe aren't, doing the most brutal crimes, but still deserve to be put away. But Batman is ending them. So it's not that he's training this kid. The difference with mine was that Robin and, even Batgirl, they see this. And what happens is Batman becomes the villain of his own story. And they have to try and basically fight him to not make him go down this path of complete and utter, almost terrorist-like behavior. So it's all I got. It's very similar.
No, fantastic.
Still awesome, if you ask me.
Awesome, yeah. So who's last?
That's me.
It's you, Rabbi. Yeah.
Okay,
now, Rabbi. You know.
Okay, so here it is. So the first issue will be essentially Commissioner Gordon getting Batman back on the horse, getting Batman to go back out. He was doing it. He was going back, but he wasn't into it. So Commissioner Gordon kind of manipulates him to have to go out and being Batman. At the same time, we see the denizens of Arkham Asylum get the news of Jason Todd's death, and we see they're in the group room, all in straitjackets watching TV, and next thing you know is that the Scarecrow has broken out of Arkham Asylum, and he is on a tear, a mission that involves Batman, and nobody can quite work out what it is. The first thing he does is he gets Killer Croc and he infects him with this fear thing in a certain way to make him go rampaging through something. To basically, I think rampaging through a school, right? For a school of kids roughly the same age as Jason Todd. Scarecrow is trying to push Batman's buttons because he understands that Batman must be in the weakest emotional state possible. So it's essentially over this 12 issues, you get this Cold War that flares up every now and again as Scarecrow has this reign of terror directed directly at Batman, trying to get him to break because he reckons he's in with a chance, sort of. The denouement, this how it ends up is this: that the what's really happening is the Scarecrow is trying to get Batman to face his deepest fears, to face his fear of his responsibility for the death of Jason Todd, and all this was put into action by the Riddler. The Riddler, the Enigma, his incredible mind realizes that without a Batman, there needs to be like a yin and yang in the world. They will become pointless without a Batman. So it's his mission to heal Batman, and he's healing Batman using Scarecrow to force him to face his fear. Who Scarecrow then uses people lower down on the ladder to create, a good comic action for people to read. That's essentially the 12 months after Jason Todd dies. There you
Absolutely. Do you know what? Every single pitch on this one, the Batman pitch, has been actually very good. I have to be honest, if you all did a comic book on his idea, that pitch that he has made, I'd actually buy them all, to be honest. I think every single one. But you have a hard choice now, guys, because you have to pick who you think won this round. And Vanessa has already got our scores in, which is absolutely fantastic. So Vanessa marks William with a 9 for round 2. I don't want our scores to go away. Lucifer Storm 7. Geronimo gets 8. And we have Rabbi with a 7. Right, so Vanessa Laura's given her scores. We need 2 more people to give their scores, please. If you could do that now. And while we are getting the scores in, I will tell you what round 3 is all about before we start it. It's actually the simplest round. It's Rabbi's favorite round, actually, because this is where we basically take the shackles off. There are no limitations, basically, and you can pitch basically whatever you want. So
no. This round is they give us a universe to pitch.
Yeah, that's what I said within. If you hadn't let me finish. Rabbi, see you.
I'm getting excited now.
I'm docking you a point right now. I'm docking you a point. You're gone. Docking you a point. I'm only messing.
Really? I thought you were telling me you're going to buy me a pint. I was like,
right.
I got excited.
Charlotte is next with the scores. So Charlotte gives William a 7. She gives Rabbi a 9. Lucifer gets an 8. And where is it? And Geronimo gets a 5. Okay. What did I say? William got, sorry. Where's William's score? Oh, William got 8. Thank you for that. Thank you. Right. So we've got Retro Dicky, who gives Lucifer a 9. Well done. He gives Will an 8. He gives Rabbi, where's Rabbi? He gives Rabbi a 7. And he gives, obviously, Geronimo. Did I do Geronimo? No, I didn't. Did I do Geronimo? I did. Hold on. Retro Dicky. 9 for Lucifer. Sorry, hold on. 9 for Lucifer. 8 for Will. 8 for Will. I think I've got one of these scores wrong, so I'm just going over them again. Rabbi gets a 7, which he did, and Geronimo gets a 6. Sorry, so I got that wrong. So Geronimo gets a 6 there. Right, so that's round 2. I will tally up the scores. Rabbi, if you would like to get round 3 ready, please. Round 3. Here we go. Right, so this is easy. This round is easy. So round 3, I want the chat to suggest an existing universe. Okay, and then everybody in on the panel, you choose, and then I choose the pitch. Sorry, and then you have to come up with our own original comic within that universe. Correct? Rabbi,
original comic.
That's Rabbi.
Yes.
Hello. Is that correct?
I was touching it, but I didn't enjoy it. Okay, I enjoyed it a bit.
I think Rabbi has zoned out. I'll say that again.
I was like, yes, I was agreeing. You weren't saying anything wrong. I was agreeing with you. I got
Sometimes you just sit there with a fit, and I don't know if you're actually saying. So there you go. So who would like to be the one to suggest? We've got Vanessa Laura that's already suggested something. If someone else in the chat that hasn't suggested that, and just to be fair, if you could pick an existing universe, and then the guys have to pitch a comic book within that universe. Okay, so what have we got so far? So we got Red Dwarf, Doctor Who, Buffy. Doctor Who, Buffy, Red Dwarf again. Let me see. Anybody else got any more? Doctor Who, Buffy, all of those are
I
shit.
think the Buffy suggestion's pretty cool, and I know fuck all about Buffy.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty cool suggestions.
Space 1999, Blake 7. Do you know what? Actually, because I do like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't like the movie, but the TV show was quite good, actually. We'll go with Buffy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So you have a few minutes. I'm going to tally up the scores for this round, the last round, I should say, and then I'll tell you who's in the lead before we get to the final round. We start.
I'm glad we're not doing Dick Tracy.
So I think there's a bit of a thinking bit thinking time there. That's 19. Okay, that doesn't say 14.
So we're doing Buffy. Okay, Buffy. Okay, I got an idea.
So we have to come up with a story in that universe?
The Buffy universe, right.
So we've got... Hold on, we're nearly there now. Right, so... We do, yes. So, in last place in round 2, we have Geronimo with 19 points. In second last place, we've got Rabbi with 23 points. Lucifer Storm has 24 points and comes in at second place. But the winner of round 2 with 25 points is William. Well done, William.
Well deserved.
Well done. So you've won that round. And
see me plummet here.
I'm adding the scores now to the old scores, and we won't tally them up till the end. But by looking at it, I think this is going to be pretty close. I don't think there's going to be a runaway winner here. Seems to be pretty close so far. So, guys, just have had a couple of minutes now to guess, to have a think. So who would like... Actually, Lucifer Stormers, you're the one that actually suggested we do Buffy.
Yeah, because I like shooting myself in the foot, apparently.
Exactly. So you can shoot yourself in the foot again by going first.
Oh, brilliant. So bear in mind, I know nothing about Buffy. I am just guessing that it's kind of like a horror fantasy. You know, I've seen like the clips and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've never actually watched the show, so...
Right. Well, that's even better because you might come up with a pitch that's actually very good. So, you know, that's the idea of it. So go for it. Knock yourself out.
Okay. Do I have to use Buffy as the main character? I think I'll go with Buffy as the main character. I mean, it is her show after all.
Right.
So, yeah, she's been slaying vampires or whatever. Is she in high school or is she out of high school?
She was at the she was like 16 at the beginning.
Yes, Sunnydale.
Right,
She was in high school. Yeah, she was still in high school.
Okay, so she's still in high school. She's had a long day doing like the schoolwork and all that and all the typical drama there. She's been out slaying vampires or whatever, but she's got enough time to go to the mall, right? Of course, she's got enough time to go to the mall. So she's gone to the mall. There's like, say, like an open floor plan, like cafe place or whatever. There's bookstores and stuff. She goes into a bookstore. She sees a book that seems quite nice. It's a bit old, but it seems quite nice. It grabs her interest, so she gets that. You know, maybe she gets some clothes or whatever. She has a bit of a shopping spree. She treats herself. She's worked hard. She deserves it. She then goes to the like I said, like an open floor plan, like cafe, whatever. Orders a coffee, sits down, and thinks, "Oh, you know, I'm going to take a look at that book." So she gets the book out of the carrier bag or whatever. She opens it up, and she is horrified because there's a human face in the pages. And she closes up. Is like, "Okay, did I see that? Like, I that couldn't be there, could it?" And then she sees that the book is bleeding. She's like, "Oh shit!" She opens it up, and the face smiles at her, winks, and says, "Hey there, I'm going to give you 3 wishes. But you must already know that no matter what you wish for, it's not going to go your way. Now, here's the thing. You could say, no, I'm not going to wish for anything. But if you do, I'll kill everyone in this mall and the blood will be on your hands." That's my pitch.
Fantastic. And for someone that doesn't know anything about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that was pretty good. I have to be honest. Vanessa actually has said to you, though, you have to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer as it's one of the best shows of all time. I wouldn't go that far. It's decent enough. Well,
you know what? Was it Vanessa who said that? Yeah, Vanessa. As you said it, I'll make some time for it and I'll do what I can.
Exactly.
It's a good show, though. It is a good show.
Yeah, it is, but it gets overhyped though.
But you know what? No, it really came together when what's the name? Spike. What's the name of the actor when he came into it?
Oh yeah, I don't know his name.
The end of season 2, I think. Or season 2. Right.
Yeah,
right.
He was in Torchwood as well. He was in Torchwood as well. Yeah. Right, 3 pitches to go. Who would like to take up the mantle next?
I'll go if you like.
Okay, go for it, Rabbi.
I can't think of the name of it, but I want to set it in England in 1979, and it's the Adventures of the Vampire Slayer. Who let's call her Lisa, Lisa McDrain or I can't think of her name. Her name's Lisa. She's a vampire slayer from 1979. Spike is in it. Spike it will be a villain in it. So would be Giles. Young Giles is a rogue young punk magician, and he's initially starts off as a villain and then ends up as an ally. And I think we'll do something similar that they did in Buffy in the 2000s. It basically, there's the adventure of this vampire slayer. She has a watcher. Who would the watcher? Let's make the watcher be a huggy bear, like a black American, very flamboyant guy. And that's how he avoids notice because he's so noticeable. So you have that, and I guess Giles will be part of the gang. I like Spike as one of the villains, and again, it's basically set in and around England. It'll be very topical for the time. So it'll be like you would have. You just lost someone. Who do we lose?
Ooh, hello.
Oh wait, no, I think the device not clear. So hopefully he'll come back. So it'll be. Let me see. That threw me off. He's back. Here he is. 1 second. So again, set in London. So we have like the rise of Thatcherism and the out of control consumerism of the first half of the 80s. That's basically the feel of the strip. But it's basically Buffy 79, but like whatever Lisa Slayer 79. Slayer 79, that's what we're going to call it. And
obviously, the year that I was born, 1979. Interesting choice there, actually. Buffy in that. Well, it wouldn't be actually Buffy because she wouldn't be born yet. Well, she probably would be. No, she wouldn't be born yet. But so it's a different character before Buffy comes along, but within the Buffy the Vampire Slayer universe.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Because I just wanted to make sure because you didn't mention Buffy, so
no Buffy. This is it's an original thing, basically moving the time, characters, and
but in the same universe,
keeping everything else pretty much the same. Monster of the week, that sort of thing.
Fantastic. Right. Who's next? Who wants to go next? William or Geronimo draws? Which one of you guys would like to?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'll go if you
go for it, William.
Yeah, cheers. Right, okay. I'm going to steal one of my demons from my comic.
Right.
I've got a demon called Logos, and he's a banter demon. So I'm taking the idea of the banter demon and I'm putting it in the Buffy universe. Now, banter demon has powers that are all to do with the voice and communication. And this is Dominic, and he's a young Irish banter demon. And he wants to be a stand-up comedian. So he's on stage in LA in the club in Buffy or in Angel. Can't remember the name of it. It's been a few years since I've watched it. And he's going down a bomb. Well, he's not going down a bomb. He's a bomb. He's going down terribly. But in the audience watching him is Spike and Buffy, because this is one of those times when they were actually kind of getting on and dating and going together. And they're watching this guy just crash and burn into the worst comedy act ever seen by man, vampire, demon, or mummy. And when he gets off, Spike buys him a drink, has a wee chat with him, tries to give him a pep talk. And he tells him about a joke. It's like the funniest joke that was ever written about 1,500 odd years ago. He remembers that joke because he was around then, because he's a vampire. And he sets a wee flame in this guy's head, and he kind of goes, maybe I could go on a quest and find this joke. So this is like a 12-issue maxi series. So he's got this wee gang around him. He's got like an Egyptian mummy, who's actually this really sexy hot babe. He's got a werewolf from Texas called Bert. And he's got like a midget who doesn't say anything and has no eyes, but he can see everything. So that's his little gang, and they decide they're going to go off and they're going to find this joke, this one joke that's going to be like the thing that kind of like kickstarts his career as a stand-up comic, because that's what he really wants to be. He's not been particularly good as a banter demon. He's not helped anybody, and that's it. So that's essentially the setup for the story. The thing is, Buffy's there, and Buffy says, Spike, you can't just send these kids out there on a quest and a wild goose chase. They need a mentor. So they need you. Go with them. So they get Scooby Gang in this case, or like Sexy Mummy, the Banter Demon, the Texas Werewolf, the midget with no eyes who can see everything, and Spike. And they go out there to find the oldest joke so that this guy can kickstart his career. The only problem is the oldest joke is actually deadly. And if anybody hears the oldest joke, they will laugh and they will laugh and they will never stop laughing until they die. And that's the story. And that's it. 12 issues. Are they going to get there? Are they going to find a joke? Lots of hijinks, lots of fun along the way. And it's kind of for a younger age group. It's kind of the Buffyverse, but it's set in a kind of younger age group.
Fantastic. Actually sounds fantastic.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Right, Geronimo Draws, it's up to you. Can you give the best pitch? I have to be honest, looking at the scores here, it's very close right now after 2 rounds. So whoever makes the best pitch here is probably going to win. So no pressure.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to make it different from everybody's because
Right.
I've heard everyone. So I'm trying to consciously make it different this time. So I think it'd be cool to have like a whodunit, with Buffy, kind of like maybe she's at a Slayer meeting, in some kind of secure location where she's meeting other Slayers. But what happens is the Slayers start to be knocked off one by one, almost like a slasher movie. And they're trying to figure out who it is because there's no one else in the room. And the kills happen to start at a certain hour. And long story short, we find out that it is a werewolf. And we find out at the end that the werewolf, the identity of the werewolf, is in fact Buffy. She doesn't realize that she was bitten, and she has been knocking off all of the other Slayers.
That's brilliant. That's freaking brilliant. I love it. That's freaking brilliant.
Just hand him the winning title now.
Yeah, that's clever.
Put the rest of us out of our misery.
Short and sweet.
Right. Well, there you go. And that is another very good pitch. So now it's time for you guys in the chat to decide who this week's winner actually is. If you can give us your final scores, the first 3 people, obviously we take. So if you could give your final scores for all 4 pitches, guys, for every contestant on the stream. So Alpha Omega has come in. We've got Liam Nielsen Chin. And we've got Vanessa Law. So we need one more person. So Vanessa Law gives Lucifer Storm a 7. So we add a 7. I don't want it to go. Rabbi also gets a 7. Geronimo gets a 9. Well done. And William gets 8. William gets 8. So we've got Alpha Omega left the next. So he gives Lucifer Storm a 6. He gives Rabbi 8. Let me see. He gives Wullie 8. And he gives, let me see. He gives Geronimo 7. And the final score now is from Liam Nielsen's Chin. And we have, I love that name. We've got a 6 for Rabbi. This is unbelievable. We've got an 8 for Wullie. Oh, this is going to be very close. I think we might have a couple of draws here. And I think that the chat is being clever. We got a 9 for Geronimo. And for Lucifer Storm, we have a 7. So that's it. I've got to add up the scores and see who the winner is now. So we've got 8, 16, and that's 24. So we are 24 onto that score. So William gets altogether. William has, we've got 8, and that's 12. So 72 for William at the end of 3 rounds. We will do our winner now in a minute. We got 18 there. Have I counted that up right? I have. Okay. So 37, that's 46, 46, 52, 61 for Geronimo, 61 for Geronimo, 72 for William. Rabbi gets a total score of, let me see, we've got 46 and then 6, that's 52. We got 60, 67 for Rabbi. And Lucifer Storm, we've got 14, that's 56 and 7. 63. So we've got the final scores in. So in last place this week, unfortunately, it's Geronimo with 61 points.
But best pitch.
Second last place, I'm actually surprised at this, Lucifer Storm with 63 points. In second place, believe it or not, it's Rabbi from Another Planet with 67 points. But the winner again, because I think he won the first week as well, is William with a massive.
No, I didn't win the first week.
Did you not?
That was me.
That was it.
Oh yeah. So William wins this week with a 72. So the scores were pretty. Look, it really went down to the last round. To be quite honest with you. So William, you're this week's winner. Congratulations.
It's not about the winning, guys.
Unfortunately, Rabbi, you didn't win this week, but there you go. That's what happens.
You can't win them all, baby. You can't win them all.
Oh, listen, that's been it. So what I'll do is I'll let the lads one last time give themselves a bit of a shout out, let you know where they can find their work and stuff like that. And then I'll let Rabbi then have the, obviously it's his channel. He can have the, obviously he's going to have the last word because it is his channel. But it's as I am the host, I will plug myself if that's okay first. So after this stream, there's going to be a video thrown up on my channel on the Jimmy Savile BBC drama thing that they want to do. So I have a video ready to go. So as soon as this stream's over, it'll be popped up on the channel. I'm back on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Tardis Zone. We've got the watch-alongs, we've got the Tardis Zone talks, and that's me. So, Rabbi, you can obviously. Yeah. So if you want a big screen them all while they're giving their picks off their work as well. So we'll start with Geronimo Draws first.
Sure. So you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Geronimo Draws. I also have a YouTube channel called Geronimo Draws where I do movie reviews and I had interviewed different creators, particularly alternate creators. And also I have an Indiegogo out right now. It's launched. It's called Wirehead and it's a slasher horror book. I think you guys will really dig it if you like slasher horror and sci-fi horror from the 80s and 90s. So check it out. That's it.
Sorry, I was clicking too slowly.
That's okay. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to say something else.
Let's go with Lucifer Storm next, please.
Okay, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram by looking for Lucifer Storm. You can go to my website, luciferstorm.com, or you can check out the website for my upcoming book, Lady Satan, An Angel in a Killer's Dress. The web address for that is lady-satan.com, and I'm going to have a special announcement concerning that book coming to you on October 31st.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. And as Lee has said in the chat, all links are in the video notes. Check them out. William, knock yourself out there, pal. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, well, you can always find me on Twitter. It's at Crawford_Hazle. I think the link's down below for my Twitter. I'm also on YouTube. If you type in William Crawford Hazle, you'll see me every Thursday evening on YouTube talking about old horror movies and stuff like that, and interviewing comic creators. And I've got Ailsa Dark, Werewolves and Bad Pots. That's her behind me here. And that's a campaign starting on Halloween on Indiegogo. It's a complete story. It's old school horror adventure comic. Even if comics aren't your thing, if you like old school Hammer horror movies or the Avengers or the new Avengers, and imagine them getting mashed together, that's what you're going to get in my comic. It's fun. So please consider signing up for that. Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. And Rabbi, as it is your channel, you get the last word. I'd like to thank you again for letting me host. I'm enjoying this. Rabbi brought me on board, as you know, because, you know, I don't read comic books, and this is his way of trying to get me more interested in them. And I have to be honest with you, each week I do this. I'm really enjoying the pitches. And you know what? Looking at you as our beautiful comic books and our artwork is absolutely amazing. Keep doing what you are doing, because as we all know, mainstream comics are in the shitter right now, and it's guys like you that keep comic books alive. So thank you. I appreciate it all. Thanks for coming on, and I'll leave you with Rabbi now. He's going to end the stream. Thanks, Rabbi.
Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for all the guests. Please go and check out everybody's links in the description. Go and sign up for everybody's Indiegogo, or go back Indiegogo. I'll be talking with Geronimo. I'm not sure. I think Sunday. I can't remember what day we said. He'll tell me in a minute. I'm sure he'll tell me in a minute. We're going to have an in-depth chat about his book, about his love of comics, about everything there is to know. Thank you everybody for coming, and have yourselves a fantastic evening, fantastic night, fantastic time.